Hello, how are you? I am 100% hopeful by blessings of the God, you are all in well. Once again, on the request of my dear student friends, I have prepared this most interesting video, and this video not only helpful to the student category but also for the general knowledge purposes. This video will be helpful. This is Dr. A B JENA, Senior Assistant Professor, PG Department of Business Management, Fakirmoni University, Balasore, Odisha. Once again, I am welcoming to this YouTube video channel. So today we will discuss the very interesting topic like the share and the types of shares. Without any delay, let's discuss the share. What is the meaning of share? Share means parts. Share means parts. The capital of the company, in short form I have written, so CAP. CAP means capital, CO means company. The capital of the company is divided into number of equal parts. It's known as a share. And the details of PDF of this video, so it is available in a description. I will request to all of you kindly make the download. So normally by citing the examples, let's take an example. Suppose the capital of the company is rupees. The capital of the company, it is, let's take an example, is rupees 1 lakh, and it will be divided into the equal parts. Let's take an example, 10,000. So per share will be how much? Rupees 10, and the capital of the company is 1 lakh, and total number of shares of a company is 10,000. So 10,000 into rupees 10 is equal to rupees 1 lakh. So dear friends, what are the different kinds or types of shares? So normally there are three types of shares. Equity share, it's also known as that is the ordinary share, and second one is that is the preference shares. At another shares of a company, it's a deferred share. At last we will discuss the deferred shares. Equity shares, it's also known as the ordinary shares. What is this? The holder of these shares. The holder of these shares. Let's take an example. Suppose Ram is a person who has purchased the shares of a company. So Ram is the equity shareholder of a company. Of these shares are real owner of the company. So the Ram is the shareholder, and Ram will be the real owner of the company, and Ram will have the sayings about the affairs of the company, and Ram will actively participate in the management process of the company, and are having with the voting rights. Equity shareholder has the most important powerful tools, will cast or will give the votes in the meeting of the company. Once again I am repeating, holder of the shares are the real owner of the company, and equity shareholders are having with the voting rights in the meeting of the company. Let's come to the आगे जाएंगे. So second one is that is the preference share. What is this? What is the meaning of preference? Preference means the privilege or the rights. So these are those shares. SS, it stands for shares, which are given the preference, the preferential rights. What? Over the equity shares. Over the equity shares with regard to the payment of a dividend. Okay. The company will pay the dividend first to the preference shareholder, after to the equity shareholder. So first preference shareholder get the dividend, and the dividend is also the fixed rate. And second one, preference or the privilege is given to the preference shareholder at the time of the liquidations of the company. The company will redeem first the preference share capital. So two preferential rights over to the equity shareholder. Number one, we will get the preference shareholder will get the fixed rate of dividend before paying the dividend to the equity shareholder. And a second one privilege is the rights of a preference shareholder is to get the preference share capital at the time of winding up or liquidation of a company. Okay, what are the different types or kinds of preference shares? So first one, it's on the basis of the accumulation or on the basis of the dividend. On the basis of the accumulation or the dividend, it's divided in two parts: cumulative preference share. Second one is a non-cumulative preference shares. And it's very interesting. Easily you can remember, dear friends, what is this cumulative preference shares? Are those shares. These are those shares. They have the rights to receive the dividend even there is no profit if the dividend has not been declared. For instance, let us take an example. Suppose in 2021 there is no profit. A company has not earned any profit. Yes, if profit is not there, company is not in a position to pay the dividend to the shareholders. When the company will earn the profit in the year 2022, it's as per the nature of the cumulative preference share, the cumulative preference shareholder will get the arrear dividend of previous year 2021 plus this year's dividend. And second one category, it's the non-cumulative preference share. The holder of these shares have no claim for the arrear of dividends only. So non-cumulative preference share will not be eligible to get the arrear dividend in 2021. There is no profit. There is no profit in the year 2021. So in this situation, non-cumulative preference share holder are not eligible to get the arrear dividend. Okay, friends, come to the second one category on the basis of the conversion. What is the meaning of conversion? One will be converted to another one. Similarly, so on the basis of the conversion, the preference share is divided into two parts: convertible preference share. Second one is non-convertible preference share. What is convertible preference share? So these shares can be converted into equity share within a specified time period. So it's once again I am repeating, the convertible preference shares will be converted into equity share provided so the time period is there during this stipulated time period. Second one category of on the basis of the conversion, it's a non-convertible preference shares. Non-convertible preference shares are those shares which cannot be converted into equity shares. So other category of the preference share, so we will discuss. On the basis of the redemption or the tenure, the preference share is divided in two parts: redeemable preference shares and irredeemable preference shares. Redeemable preference shares, what is the meaning of redemption? Redemption means the repayment. The preference shares which are redeemed after the certain time period. It may be up to 10 years or 8 years or 12 years. So the company will redeem the or return back the preference share capital to the preference share capital. So preference shareholder, sorry. Irredeemable preference shares. What is this? Irredeemable preference shares are those shares which are not redeemed during the lifetime of the company. The last one category of the preference share on the basis of the participation. On the basis of the participation, it is divided in two parts: participating preference shares and non-participating preference shares. What is participating preference shares? So first of all, this preference shareholder will get the dividend, fixed rate of a dividend, if after paying the dividend to the equity shareholder, if remains in surplus, then the participating preference shareholder participate in the surplus profit. Holder of the shares have the rights to participate in surplus profit. Second one category, on the basis of the participation, non-participating preference share, the holders of these shares have no rights to participate in surplus profit. And third one category of shares, it's a deferred share, or it's known as, that is the founder shares. What is this? So right now the deferred shares are not being issued by the company. In earlier, only the private companies, so they were eligible to issue the deferred shares. To whom? To the promoter or the founders. Who are the promoters or the founders? So they, those who will take the lead role for the formation of the company. So these shares are issued earlier to the promoters or the founders for the service or render for the formation of the company. Now it's time, now we will discuss the interesting part, what is the difference between the preference shares and the equity shares. Okay, dear friends, it's time to discuss the difference between the preference share and the equity share, and it's also very, very interesting, and this is the basis for comparison. By taking into this point, we will distinguish between the preference share and the equity share. First one is payment of dividend. So preference shareholders will receive the dividend first, or before paying the dividend to the equity shareholder, and here equity shareholder will get the dividend after paying the dividend to the preference shareholder. Come to the second one basis, rate of a dividend. Preference shareholder will get the fixed rate of a dividend. It's very, very interesting. You have to remember always, the preference shareholder will get the fixed rate of a dividend, whereas the equity shareholder will get the variable rate of a dividend. Suppose, so preference shareholder, the fixed rate of a dividend is 10%. So preference shareholder will get the fixed rate of a dividend, but in the case, suppose there is a huge profit, equity shareholder will get more than 10%, maybe 15%. If the profit is not sufficient, we will get 5% or 6%. If profit is not there, then the equity shareholder will not get the dividend. Then the voting rights. Preference shareholder have no voting rights, whereas the equity shareholder have the voting rights. Next one, that is the redemption of a capital. Redemption of capital means the repayment of capital. The preference shareholder, the company will redeem or repay the preference share capital after certain time period, whereas the equity shareholder will the equity share capital will not be redeemed during the lifetime of the company. So here, that is the accept the irredeemable preference share. Next one, conversion. The preference share can be converted into equity share, whereas equity share cannot be converted into equity share. Then arrears of a dividend. In the case of on the basis of the accumulation or on the basis of the dividend, the preference shareholder has the rights to claim the arrear dividends, whereas the equity shareholders have no rights to claim the arrear dividend. Then the participation in management, it's a very, very vital. Preference shareholder will not be allowed, or preference shareholder cannot participate in the management process of the company, whereas equity shareholder can participate in the management process of the company. Next one is, that is the bonus share. So in a other video we will discuss in detail what is the bonus share, but the bonus share is the free share which is given to the equity shareholder. So bonus share, the preference shareholder are not eligible to get or to receive the bonus share, whereas the equity shareholder are eligible to get or receive the bonus share. Repayment of capital. So the preference shareholder are eligible to get first the preference share capital before paying the share capital to the equity shareholder, whereas in the case of equity share capital will be redeemed after repayment of a preference share capital. Next one, it's that is the types of preference share capital, which we have already discussed. The different types of preference share capital. So these are the redeemable preference share, irredeemable preference share, participative preference share, non-participative preference share, convertible preference share, non-convertible convertible preference share, etc. Whereas the equity shares are classified as the ordinary shares. Last but not the least, what is the status of the preference share? What is the status of the preference share? So who holds the preference share is known as the preference shareholders, and who holds the equity share known as the equity shareholders. So these are all about the say meaning of share, types of share, and the types of preference shares, as well as the difference between the preference share and equity shares. Thanks a lot for watching this video. So I will request to all of you, kindly you like it, kindly you share it, kindly you subscribe it, kindly you forward it. If any comment and suggestion, kindly you give your valuable criticism and suggestion, as well as the PDF of this video lecture is available in description. Kindly you make the downloading. Once again, thanks a bunch to all of you. Thank you.